Is Kevin Owens potentially on his way out of WWE? We're going to talk about that, plus new AEW signings, plus an AEW star who is not re-signed yet. We're going to talk about it all right here on the Ango Show. Yes. Welcome back to the Ango Show, ladies and gentlemen. What a great weekend for professional wrestling, and I want to kick things off with Tony Khan, and more specifically Daniel Garcia, because it appears despite his return at AEW All In, attacking MJF, it's actually been said that Daniel Garcia has yet to re-sign with the company, and I want to chime in. PWInsider.com has reported that Daniel Garcia is set or has yet to sign a new deal with the company, and his contract currently ends in October 2024. Now, keep in mind, Tony Khan said at the press conference, the media scrum, that he's not going to speak on contract statuses or anything like that, but it is a pretty good sign, obviously, that Daniel Garcia was involved at AEW All In. I'm going to assume that Daniel Garcia is going to re-sign with AEW. Quite frankly, I don't think he had a big moment at their biggest pay-per-view of the year. It's turning into a feud with MJF. And if there was really ever a feud that's going to get Daniel Garcia to the next level, it is very well going to be the feud with MJF. So if AEW has MJF put over Daniel Garcia, I think that right there is a sure thing that Daniel Garcia is staying with the company. I also think Tony Khan benefits a lot from people not knowing whether or not Daniel Garcia will go to WWE or AEW. So that makes a lot of sense as to why Tony Khan's not going to talk about it, right? Because if he says, yeah, Daniel Garcia's contract is up, he's not re-signing, obviously everybody knows it's a sure thing that he's going to WWE. If he kind of plays it close to his chest and doesn't say anything about it, keeps it very vague, people will be wondering what's going to happen. It's going to lead to a lot more unpredictability as far as his feud goes with MJF. And then ultimately it looks a lot better for AEW if Daniel Garcia actually does choose AEW over WWE. Now, one thing that we do got to point out, we don't know if WWE has had talks with Daniel Garcia, because technically that would be contract tampering and that shouldn't be the case here. But if WWE is interested and Daniel Garcia becomes a free agent and then negotiates with WWE and then chooses AEW, that obviously has a little bit of a different, it has like a little bit of a different feeling to it. So I think Daniel Garcia stays with AEW. I would love to see him in NXT and see what he could do in NXT and then go up to the main roster and, see how he would evolve. But Daniel Garcia is such a great talent, man. And I just feel like AEW has constantly missed the boat with him. This is the one time where I think this is the chance to get it right. Like, Daniel Garcia's got the fans. He attacked MJF. This could be the thing that gets people talking about Daniel Garcia in a whole different way. But he has to go over MJF. If he doesn't go over MJF, then it really would be like a big question mark. It'd be a head scratcher for sure. Let's talk about new signings for AEW. The Grizzled Young Veterans returned at AEW All In. They went face-to-face with the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks exited the ring, and then the Grizzled Young Veterans attacked FTR. Now, we've seen them on Collision. We've seen them involved in AEW in the past, but we knew that they weren't signed to AEW. Now, according to Fightful Select, AEW has not officially confirmed whether or not James Drake or Zach Gibson have signed with the company. However, the report did indicate that an agreement has been reached. The report also suggests that both sides have been in negotiations over the past few months, and last time we even got an update on them, that it was that they were far apart on money. So that is something that we need to consider. Grizzled Young Veterans, AEW's tag team division, they got a good one, but the focus hasn't been there. That's been my criticism for WWE and AEW this year. Two really great companies with two really good tag team divisions, but not a lot of focus on the tag team division. I think we just need to make mention of that. Like, adding the Grizzled Young Veterans will absolutely help, but Tony Khan has to have a focus on the tag team division. That's not that's not like some bullshit that I'm spewing. Like, this is a company that was basically founded on the principle that tag team wrestling matters. They eventually bring in the trios belts, and then because they bring in the trios belts, the tag team division kind of suffers. Then you got the ROH tag team division, and there's just way too much happening. I love these guys. I think they're talented. I was super glad to see them at All In. I want to see them involved in a very high spot with AEW's tag team division, but a lot of that really comes down to focus. And I feel like All In was such a great show, and obviously I'll have more content on that, but I feel like when the grizzled young veterans showed up at All In, that was like the first sign all year that the tag team division actually meant something. So I'm glad to see that they're with the company. I hope it works out for them long term in the company. I think they will fit in just fine in the company, but I want to see them as a big part of the tag team division. If not, I want to see them as the tag team champions, and I want to see this company just getting that tag team division back on track. And honestly, even though this topic right now is all about AEW, let's just be very clear. Tag team wrestling in general, there's too many great tag teams in the world and not enough focus on the tag teams. And I just find that to be so weird and so odd. And honestly, I just disagree with it. I thought even Triple H was going to fix the tag team stuff, and it's a work in progress, and I know everything doesn't happen overnight, but both of these companies really just need to figure it out. So yeah, good on them. Hopefully it works out. I hope they're getting paid. I'm excited to see what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Owens, what's his whole situation with the WWE? We don't know. It's very, very interesting. He's obviously a top WWE superstar. I gotta slow down. This guy is going into Bash in Berlin for a WWE Championship opportunity, and now it appears that maybe he could be on his way out. We don't know. Sports Illustrated, The Takedown, had an interview with Kevin Owens, and he told the outlet that the only change in his contract status since then, since his last interview with the Metro, is that there's now less time on his deal. No further details were given as to why he hasn't signed a new deal or what his intentions are for the future. But we know that Kevin Owens hasn't signed. Okay. Last time Kevin Owens was set to become a free agent, it led to a lot of people thinking he was going to go to AEW. That obviously didn't happen. Now AEW is picking up steam again in 2024. Is it possible that Kevin Owens goes to AEW? Yes. You never say never. You never say never in wrestling, in life, whatever. Anything and everything is possible, right? Do I think he goes to AEW? I do not. I think Kevin Owens is very happy in WWE. I think Kevin Owens has a lot of reasons to be happy in WWE. And if his son starts getting into pro wrestling, WWE would be the perfect place for him to get started. This kid is tall as hell. He might want to be a wrestler. Kevin Owens being in WWE can help him get acclimated to that transition in the future. It really just depends on what Kevin Owens wants to do, where he retires and stuff like that. For those who think it's not possible for him to go to AEW, you just simply have to remember that Kevin Owens came up with a lot of those guys in PWG and ROH and in the indie scene. And you just got to remember that Kevin Owens does have ties to a lot of people in AEW. He's a fantastic talent. If he chose to go to AEW and came in as Kevin Steen, yes, it would be fun. Yes, it would be cool to watch. I don't see an issue with the way he's been handled in WWE. I love the way he's been booked in WWE. I don't really think there's a wrong answer here, but that's really what it comes down to. So you guys can let me know what you think down below.